Before we start, a quick warning. Some of these real-life incidents are graphic and disturbing. These aren't movie stunts. This is what happens when construction goes catastrophically wrong. Construction is one of the world's most dangerous jobs. A single mistake can lead to disaster. We found the 10 most shocking construction fails ever caught on camera. From cranes collapsing to bridges crumbling, we'll break down exactly what happened. Buckle up. This is going to be intense. Number 10 takes us to New York City, where a massive crane collapse turned a normal morning into chaos. It was a day like any other, with the city bustling and people going about their routines. Imagine looking up to see a multi-ton crane tilting, then falling, slow, motion horror in real life. The sheer size and weight of the crane made the scene even more terrifying. The crane smashes into a building, then crashes across the street, flattening cars and sending debris everywhere. The sound was deafening and the sight was something out of a disaster movie. Miraculously, most people escaped, but the devastation was total. Investigators blamed high winds, which had been unusually strong that day, and improper securing of the crane. The combination of these factors created a perfect storm for disaster. The disaster forced New York to overhaul crane safety regulations. New measures were put in place to ensure such an incident would never happen again. It's a stark reminder, these machines are powerful and dangerous if mishandled. The new regulations included stricter guidelines for securing cranes and mandatory inspections. The footage is a permanent lesson in the importance of safety. One mistake, one oversight, and a city block can become a disaster zone. The aftermath was a sobering experience for everyone involved. This incident changed construction rules forever. It serves as a constant reminder of the importance of vigilance and safety in construction. Number 9 brings us to the bustling heart of London, a city famous for its ever-changing skyline and constant construction. On this particular day, what started as a routine project would soon become a cautionary tale for the entire industry. In a matter of seconds, a massive multi-story scaffold, meant to support workers and materials, suddenly gave way, collapsing with shocking speed and force. Several workers were on the structure when it began to buckle beneath their feet, triggering a terrifying chain reaction that no one could have predicted. The entire scaffold peeled away from the building's facade, sending a cascade of metal pipes, wooden planks, and debris crashing down onto the busy street below. In the chaos, workers desperately clung to whatever they could, fighting to stay above the wreckage as the structure twisted and fell apart around them. Within moments, emergency crews arrived on the scene, racing against time to rescue those trapped in the tangled mass of metal and shattered boards. Investigators soon discovered the collapse was caused by a combination of improper assembly, overloading the structure, and crucial support braces that were either missing or installed incorrectly. It became a textbook example of what can go wrong when safety shortcuts are taken and best practices are ignored on a construction site. The aftermath of the incident led to sweeping changes across the UK, including stricter training requirements for workers and mandatory daily inspections of all scaffolding. Even temporary structures, often overlooked, demand the same level of engineering precision and care as permanent buildings if lives are to be protected. This disaster proved that just one oversight, one missed detail, can instantly transform a routine worksite into a scene of chaos and tragedy. At number 8, we're in India, where a massive bridge project ended in tragedy. Without warning, a huge section of the bridge collapsed into the river below. The speed and scale of the failure were shocking. Tons of concrete and steel vanished in seconds. Rescue teams scrambled to find survivors amid the debris. Investigators found critical design flaws and substandard materials at fault. The disaster became a symbol of the dangers of cutting corners in infrastructure. It was a wake-up call for stricter quality control worldwide. The images of the broken bridge are a haunting reminder of what's at stake. Safety shortcuts can have catastrophic consequences. Number 7 is a nightmare from Russia. A tower crane spinning wildly out of control in the midst of howling high winds. This is the kind of scene that sends chills down the spine of anyone who works in construction, or even just passes by a building site. The sheer size and power of these machines make them both awe-inspiring, and in moments like this, absolutely terrifying. The crane's braking system failed catastrophically, turning the entire structure into a deadly, spinning propeller high above the city. With nothing to stop its rotation, the crane became a massive hazard, threatening everything in its path. As the winds whipped around the tower, Debris was torn loose and flung into the air, scattering across the construction site and nearby streets. The crane spun faster and faster, the metal groaning and creaking under the relentless stress, as if the entire structure was about to tear itself apart. With a final, ear-splitting screech, the crane's frame buckled under the pressure and came crashing down onto the construction site below. In a terrifying moment, the massive structure narrowly missed nearby buildings, sparing the city an even greater disaster. The cause of this disaster was traced back to a failed slewing brake, which is supposed to keep the crane from rotating uncontrollably. Combined with the dangerous wind conditions that day, it was a recipe for catastrophe. This incident is a stark reminder of how quickly a simple mechanical failure can escalate into a life-threatening emergency. Emergency crews rushed to the scene, and workers could only watch in shock as the aftermath unfolded. Tower cranes are true engineering marvels, capable of lifting incredible loads and reaching dizzying heights. But with that power comes immense responsibility. They demand constant respect, rigorous inspection, and regular maintenance to ensure safety. When safety systems fail, the results can be catastrophic, leaving behind not just twisted metal and shattered equipment, but also a lasting sense of vulnerability for everyone involved. This footage stands as a chilling warning for anyone working with heavy machinery. Never underestimate the risks, and always prioritize safety above all else. In the world of construction, one malfunction can unleash chaos in seconds, reminding us all that vigilance and preparation are the keys to preventing disaster. Number 6 takes us to Brazil, where a concrete pump explosion turned a routine pour into chaos. A blockage caused the boom arm to rupture, unleashing a high-pressure jet of wet concrete. Workers scrambled as the hose whipped around, spraying concrete and knocking over equipment. The force could have caused serious injuries, but luckily, no one was critically hurt. The incident was traced to poor maintenance and a pressure buildup. It's a vivid lesson in the dangers of high-pressure systems on site. Routine tasks can become hazardous in seconds. Regular equipment checks are vital for safety. This messy disaster could have been much worse. Never underestimate the risks of construction machinery. Number 5 is a nightmare scenario. A construction elevator in China plummeting several stories. Security footage shows the hoist suddenly stop, then free fall down the side of a high-rise. The impact is brutal, the cage crumpling on the ground in seconds. Such failures are often fatal, usually caused by snapped cables or failed safety mechanisms. Overloading and poor maintenance are common culprits. This footage is a grim reminder of the trust we place in machinery. When that trust is broken, the consequences are horrific. Elevators are lifelines on construction sites. Safety checks are non-negotiable. One overlooked detail can cost lives. Always respect the dangers of vertical transport. Number 4 is a Texas demolition gone wrong. A building's facade launched into a public street. The countdown ends, explosives detonate, and the building starts to implode as planned. Suddenly, a massive concrete slab is propelled outward, flying over the safety perimeter. The crowd's excitement turns to panic as debris crashes onto the street, narrowly missing cars and people. The cause: a miscalculation in explosive placement or timing. Demolition is precise science. Small errors have huge consequences. No one was seriously hurt, but it was a close call. Even controlled destruction can be unpredictable and dangerous. This incident is a dramatic lesson in respecting the power of demolition. Safety margins exist for a reason. Number 3 takes us underground in Japan, where a tunnel construction turned into a rescue mission. A sudden cave-in trapped workers deep inside, sealed by tons of rock and earth. Rescue teams worked tirelessly, drilling holes to make contact and deliver air and supplies. The emotional moment of contact with survivors was captured on video. After days of digging, the workers emerged alive, covered in dust but safe. The collapse was blamed on unforeseen geological weaknesses. Building through nature always carries risks. The bravery of both workers and rescuers is unforgettable. Our runner-up is Poland's National Stadium, where a roof support bracket failed during construction. A loud bang echoed as steel cables whipped free, causing the roof to sag and trapping workers high above the ground. The footage shows workers stranded on tilted catwalks, with cables swinging dangerously. A complex rescue operation was launched to bring them down safely. The failure was traced to a design flaw in the support bracket. The project was delayed, but the disaster forced a complete redesign and reinforcement. It was a critical lesson in engineering under extreme forces. Sometimes near misses prevent even greater tragedies. Number 1 is Canada's highway overpass collapse, a worst-case scenario caught on dashcam. Cars waited at a red light as a massive concrete girder suddenly fell from the overpass above. The impact crushed a car instantly, sending drivers into a panic. The footage is raw and devastating, showing the chaos and horror that followed. Investigators found the girders weren't properly secured, a fatal oversight. The tragedy led to sweeping changes in bridge construction protocols and criminal charges. It's the ultimate reminder: public safety depends on every detail. Construction errors can have deadly public consequences. This footage stands as a warning to the entire industry. There is no room for error when lives are at stake. These incidents are powerful reminders. Every construction project puts real lives at risk. Safety regulations and training aren't just red tape, they save lives. Every disaster here could have been prevented with vigilance and care. If you work in construction, always double-check your equipment and never cut corners. Share this video to help raise awareness and prevent future tragedies. Thanks for watching. Look out for each other and stay safe. See you in the next video.